27 years in the making, the bright lights of New York City clash with the relentless force of the Alamo City. For the first time since 1999, the New York Knicks and the San Antonio Spurs are reacquainted with the Larry O'Brien Trophy on the line. Will Jalen Brunson and the Knicks finally break their 53-year title drought? Or will Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs cement a new modern-day dynasty and bring a sixth championship back to the heart of Texas? The final buzzer has sounded. The battle on the hardwood is in the books, and the tape delay does not exist. You are locked into the ETV network for the definitive instant reaction NBA Finals postgame show. No filtered takes, no corporate scripts, just raw, unfiltered basketball breakdowns when it matters most to you.
All right, we made it to the end of NBA Finals Game 1. Final score, as you can see the result, the Knicks defeat the Spurs in Game 1, 105-95. Finally back to the finals for the first time since 1999. An ironic rematch, by the way, also. That's Johnny Montalbano. I'm Nick Morgasen. We're going to try to do as many of these as we possibly can through this series. Johnny, I'll let you react first because you're the Knicks fan in the room.
I sure am, baby. Yes. 2 instant reactions, Nick. I feel great and I feel relieved. This is a game that had quite a wide range of emotions because it was a game that really had a bunch of streaks in it. It's one where in the first quarter, the Knicks got off to a great start, and then you were feeling great a few minutes in, and then by the end of the first quarter, you felt like you were living through an utter nightmare with what happened with Jalen Brunson and what he had. But I got to tell you, I'm in amazement. I mean, this team, even when they were down double digits in this one, they come back, they show the resiliency, and it's like, is there ever any doubt with this team? And the key word in all this too is team. It's not just Jalen Brunson. I mean, Karl Anthony Towns saved the Knicks for the first 3 quarters. He actually was the best player on the court for the first 3 quarters. And then Jalen Brunson showed why he has been the best free agent signing the Knicks have ever made in their franchise's history. He took over in the 4th, but even the other valuable players like Josh Hart, OG Anunoby, others. That's what has propelled the Knicks to where we are right now, and that we're 3 wins away from the Larry O'Brien Trophy. Now, at the same time, I do want to caution everybody. Look, I feel great right now. I feel relieved. This series, though, is far from over. I don't think this is a short series. I felt going into the series, if this was going to be a short series, I think the Spurs would win in 5. I don't see the Knicks winning in 5, but I feel like in the last 3 weeks, I've gone from the Knicks have had no shot to win the NBA championship to them having a chance. And that doesn't change after the result tonight. So
I just wish we would pump the brakes slightly a little bit. I get it. It was a big win for the Knicks in Game 1. But I trust you as a logical Knicks fan, okay?
Oh, please, because I have been I had a 15-year stretch with this team. I've rooted for the Knicks. I root for the Knicks more than any of the teams I root for. This was the first team I grew up with watching. With my first jersey they ever owned was a John Starks Knicks jersey back in the early 90s. I went through the hell of 15-year stretch with this team from 2004 to about 2020. But yeah, I'm trying to be logical and realistic in saying this, and I think the Spurs will come back. Look, they showed they showed tonight. I mean, Wembanyama wasn't great. It was a few of their guys. I mean, the Knicks, that was the one thing I will say. The Knicks did a very good job on Wembanyama tonight.
All right. I see a lot of comments coming in already.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go.
Knicks blowout win. Stop. I'm going to put.
I wouldn't say blowout.
Can we stop?
Great win. Let's say great win. Let's not say blowout. Great is a great, no pun intended. Great is a great word to use. I wouldn't say blowout.
At the half, they were trailing by 8 or 9, whatever it was.
We were down by 8 or 9 in the fourth quarter tonight.
Yeah, so I think we need to pump the brakes on saying this was a blowout win, because to be honest, for the first half, I don't know what the Knicks were doing in the first half. It looked like they were getting beat, even though I would say that Cat was dominating the paint down low. I'll give you guys that. The entire game, he had one step on Wemby. I don't know what was going on with Wemby. Wemby was taking shots from the arc rather than. I'm just surprised he's not dominating down low, which is what was confusing to me in this game. Callan saying, give me 6 more of these games. I'm happy for Mike Brown. Yes, because he's San Diego alum over there.
I'll about 10 years, but yes.
Knicks open the closet. I don't know what that means. Wemby looks spent. He's got to do most of the work. Yeah,
see, now that's a good point, though, because we saw that in the Thunder series in Game 5. That Wembanyama did look shot, but at the same time, he looked exhausted, and he came back the next night, and he played great. And that's the thing. I don't think Wembanyama is going to have back-to-back games that he's going to look off. I mean, if that's the case, then you give the Knicks a hell of a lot of credit if that's the case. But I just don't see him having back-to-back games like he did tonight. But, yeah, he did look a little bit rusty and spent. I mean, I noticed that in Game 5 too of the Thunder series, and that's why that series did go a little bit longer than I had originally thought.
And by the way, you and I watching this game, we thought the officiating was not great on both sides.
Agreed. And you saw Jalen Brunson after the game and after his interview with Lisa Salters on the ABC broadcast, go up and say that and really go up to Scott Foster and stuff. But yeah, it was that on all sides.
I just,
what's going on, bud?
Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm great. I'm relieved. I'm great. A little bit of a few emotions here tonight, but definitely will take this one.
Inhale and exhale.
Yes, absolutely. We'll be doing that a lot this week for sure.
All I know is I need our internal chat inside of Slack to take a step down a little, because after Game 1, everyone's claiming that the Knicks are going to run away with this series. Okay? We need to take a deep breath, be happy you won Game 1, and winning by 10, not a small feat. Let me be clear about that. But this was not a dominant game. And Jalen Brunson, what did he shoot? 7 of 25?
Brunson the first 3 quarters was not great, and then he did take over in the fourth.
I give him credit. He scored 30. But he went 12 of 31 to get to that 30.
It took a lot for him to get to that 30, but he took over in the fourth quarter when it really mattered. So you have
hard-earned 30 after having the knee and the ankle, which looked rough. Again, that it seems like they'll come playoff time. There's one injury that he always sustains, and I thought Mitchell Robinson looked good despite him having that bad hand.
But he wasn't in as much as I thought he was going to be.
No, and I'm not surprised, though. Maybe keep him a little bit, on the bench for a little bit. Let him get his feet back under him, though. And, I mean, I still thought he looked a little bit effective in spurts, though, when he was out there, though.
But, I mean, just going through – actually, you commented and you're in here. Knicks have the second longest winning streak in the postseason. Okay, that's great. You have a winning streak. Win the finals now.
Yeah, at this point, you almost feel like you have to get it this year, just because there's no guarantee we get back here again next year. And I don't want to focus ahead on the future and stuff, but we've seen it with a lot of these teams in all the sports, really, where it's like we talk about how they have a few-year window, and there's no guarantee they make it back to the next year.
And that went to my point on Cranium on Tuesday. It was like, this is now or never for the Knicks, because you've been building this, as I said, though I picked the Spurs in 7. But again, if Mike Brown wins, I'll be happy as a USD employee of 10 years, as I've written about this today and talked about it across the last couple of days. But with what the Knicks have built, though, again, as I said, stuck, sadly in mediocrity for, I'd say, what, Johnny, the last 15 years, 20 years, if not, going through draft picks, head coaches, whatnot, and you build and build and build. You get so close last year. Now here you are finally. You've got to deliver Otherwise, you don't know when that next chance is going to be coming about.
Agree. And Callan, you have to remember, too, if you look at the Eastern Conference here, you're going to have the Celtics with a full year Jason Tatum back next year. The Pacers, who were banged up all of the Tyrese Halliburton injury with them, really cost them this year. And they have so many injuries. You got to expect that they're going to rebound. And you never know if the Knicks take a step back if they have any major injuries. That's one of the things, too, when you look at the Knicks in this playoff run. Yes, OG Anunoby missed a couple of games with the hamstring. This most recent thing with Mitchell Robinson and the freaky thing with Brunson tonight. But for the most part, knock on wood, the Knicks have been a healthy team in the playoffs, and that has helped here. That's one of the many things that has helped them get to where we are right now. Them playing basketball in June for the first time in 27 years.
I think what people are not realizing, I said this to Callan last night, I said this on ETB Sports on Tuesday, sports talk radio, and the amount of, first of all, I'm surprised at the amount of Knicks fans who are on sports talk radio this week.
I'll probably say I was a little shocked, though, too, about how many Knicks fans were actually at Frostbank in the 2-1-0 tonight in San Antonio.
Well, I would say, Knicks fans were making me laugh in the crowd because they were acting like they were winning this game from the start. But you know what? People are saying that the Knicks are going to run away with this. Someone explain to me how that's feasible.
I mean, if they go up 2-0 going back to the Garden,
they're not going up 2.
Keyword is if. And as I said, somebody here will need to get a split going back to MSG for Game 3 or Game 4, as I said on Tuesday.
Well, and the one thing with that, Callan, and I just mentioned a couple of minutes ago, was I don't expect Wembanyama to have a second straight off night.
No way, no how.
One of the people made it in the comments that Wembanyama looks spent. It reminded me of one of the game, I think it was Game 5 in the Thunder series, where he did look exhausted, but then he came back the next night and looked phenomenal. And I expect him to bounce back in a big way in Game 2.
I don't even think Wemby had a bad game, to be honest. Like, I'm looking at the splits, and he had 26 points, 12 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, 3 blocks. I mean, is that considered an underperformance for Wemby? Like, I don't think so.
With that team, though, I mean, I know they have some other pieces, though, but it seems like, and that's the one thing I felt like with this series. But then again, I'm going to kind of contradict myself when I say this. Is the best player on this series, I think, is on the Spurs, but I think the better team overall is the Knicks. But then again, I would have said that in the Thunder series, and the Thunder, I felt like, had the better team, and the Spurs still came out on top. So that's something to keep an eye on here going forward.
I mean, just seeing comments rolling in, this one annoys me a little bit. They haven't lost since April, bro. This isn't the old sad Knicks. What does April have to do with now? Nothing.
Well, I think it's just talking about how they've looked since the playoffs have started.
Is that when the streak began after they lost that game in Atlanta?
Yeah, when we were down 2-1 to the Hawks, and since then they've not only have they been winning, but they've been putting up historical numbers in this. There have been teams. Now, look, the Knicks had a very favorable path to get to this point. There's no doubt, and that's part of how you get to where we are right now. But
a little bit of luck.
Unlike some of the other teams that have had also favorable paths too, the Knicks are doing this dominating teams. I mean, they're putting teams away by halftime. Now, they didn't do that tonight. That's what actually makes tonight really impressive. Is this was a different kind of Knicks win from the 11 prior that they had, where they weren't dominant, they didn't blow anybody out, but they showed resilience coming back from multiple deficits and winning this game. I actually think that's why you can make the argument you can feel very confident with this team going into the next couple of nights.
I just wish people would stop treating the finals like it's an easy thing to win. Like, that's all I've been hearing all week. Knicks are going to win in 5. The Knicks are going to win in 6.
Yeah, Nick, I'm not going to speak for everybody on that, and this is something that, and I think the thing is, you don't see this a lot in basketball, but in the playoffs, in a lot of these sports over the last several years, a lot of the time it's teams that have momentum going into these championship games. And I know that as a Giants fan, when we won our 2 Super Bowls here in the 21st century, were the Giants the best team in those two runs? Absolutely not. Were they the hottest team in those 2 runs? Absolutely. They got hot at the right time and carried that over. And we've seen that a lot in sports, that sometimes it isn't the best team that wins, it's the team that gets hot at the right time. Now, I'm not trying to downplay what the Knicks are doing here, but they have had an unbelievable stretch here for months now, or for weeks. Oh, you can say months because the playoffs are so long, but I think that's why you can say where we're at right now.
I don't know. It's one game. That's all I'm trying to get at here.
Mm-hmm.
And just our network chat saying go cry. You know what? My answer is go F off to that chat.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ben. Yes. But you've got 6 of them, though. And we're the only ones. I mean, we stopped you from being a total complete dynasty. I understand.
Yeah.
But
y'all win.
But you know what's funny? So Ben's a Patriots fan, and that's actually kind of what I'm going to say here with this Knicks team is we can't also at the same time, we can't say, oh, we're in the finals, we're going to be good for a couple of years to come here. You got to go for it now because there's no guarantee we can get back to this promised land again next year. Just like we talked about with the Pats, there's no guarantee they can make it back to the Super Bowl next year. So you got to really take advantage of this opportunity when you have it, because I don't think the path going into next year will be as favorable as it is right now. And look,
I mean, this could be a fork in the road, Johnny. I don't mean to intervene, but
go ahead.
I mean, but it's the point though that that you and I both have agreed with here in the brief time I'll be here, is that you get there now. Could this go like a fork in the road? Could this go one way if you win it and the team stays together? Could it go this way if you don't win it and maybe the team, I don't know, but I don't think that they would blow up though, and maybe that guys go elsewhere. But this becomes that proverbial fork in the road though for the Knicks though, because as I've said and as you said though, they've worked too damn hard to get here not to finish the job now at this stage, and it is only game 1, so we'll see where things go.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, when you look at Jalen Brunson, who I thought was knocked out for the count twice when he fell down. And that's part of the reason why I still don't think the Knicks are fully runaways of this series. Because one injury to him, this series could be over if he gets knocked out of this series.
Nick, in the first quarter when he went back to the locker room like that was a nightmare. That really was. And I even think also with this game tonight, the last 30 seconds of the first half, I felt like were a nightmare because the Knicks were up. I think they were up by a good margin, and the Spurs put together a pretty good rally going into the half. And I felt like the momentum did carry over. That's why this game the emotions of this game with runs and stuff was just that's why I'm very excited. I'm very happy, but I'm relieved. But I also realize that it's a nice win, but we got to I don't want to be asking for too much, but you really love to get Friday night, and I just don't see Wembanyama having. I think Wemby's going to come out for a big one on Friday, or an even bigger one, if I can say that.
You know what? And people are on social media saying, "Oh, well, Wemby was dominated by Cat." Show me the proof of that.
Well, I will say the Knicks did. The Knicks did contain him pretty well tonight. What I mean by that is, if you look at some parts, Wemby wasn't dominant down low. They were dishing it out. He wasn't really able. They were keeping the ball on offense away from him. So,
yeah, but if we're going to give credit to Jalen Brunson putting up a hard-earned 30, we got to give credit to Wemby putting up 26 points and 12 rebounds. Okay, it's not fair to just say, oh, well, Jalen Brunson put up 30 and they made a resilient comeback. I don't think that's right either.
Okay.
I'm just saying, you got to look at it from both sides, give and take of both sides. And by the way, I think we're also overlooking the performance of, I'm going to say his last name wrong, Julian
Champagnie.
Champagnie? I think he had an incredible performance tonight.
Killed us in the first half. He was really, he was the guy in the first half that was making up for it.
Yeah, I thought Castle played well in spurts though too. It just kind of looked like though too, one of the earlier comments that maybe Wemby did look a little winded as this game did go on, as the third quarter plays out, fourth quarter plays out. But again, it's got a long way to go. Yes,
absolutely.
That's long way to go. And I think though too that once we get later on though, and you got multiple days off in between games, that's going to help both teams, I think, get themselves back to full strength and full speed.
The Knicks team is simply battle tested. They refuse to let down. Okay, that's fine. I get that. But if you're going to say they're battle tested and they have a 12-game win streak, then there's no excuse for them not to win the NBA Finals now. No excuses. Go out there and win this in 5.
The Knicks and Golden Knights are like cockroaches. You can't kill them.
Yeah, that was crazy last night. I couldn't believe the Golden Knights came back last night. But
it's dumb comments. It's dumb comments like Dave Portnoy, who writes about 30 minutes ago, "Congrats to the Knicks on the NBA title. Tonight was no fluke. They're better than the Spurs."
No, see, that's ridiculous. See that I don't agree with that at all.
But that's not you, but that's the average Knicks fan mentality that they're saying after this game that they're going to dominate the finals.
It was I was actually quite surprised how many people, and I'm not just even on local sports radio, but all around, were actually taking the Knicks to win this series. Now, the reason why I feel like they have a chance to is because of the momentum they have going in. The fact that I think they have a more depth on the team with their team than the Spurs do. But there's no doubt that, I mean, look, I'm not going to underestimate what the Spurs have done here. I mean, obviously they have home court advantage in this series. So I mean, this is the first time the Knicks have had to go on the road. They have not had home court in the entire in the playoffs in any of these rounds. So I mean, it's not a fluke here.
They're a good team, because people think I'm just bashing on the Knicks for no reason. The Knicks are a good team. I'm not debating that. Jalen Brunson has been up there, should be in the MVP discussion. I don't think he was ever going to win it, but he definitely should be in the top 3 or 4 for the MVP discussion. I think Wemby got robbed this year, to be honest. I think he was better than Shai during the regular season. I don't know. This game doesn't tell me how the whole series is going to go.
Nick, that I'll agree with you on, because I game 2 would be the test of that. If the Spurs win, then we have a series. If the Knicks win, then it really is. Ben says here, if the Knicks can't finish this job, they might not be back, sadly. This type of run doesn't happen a lot. Ben, I 1,000% agree with that.
Where do I co-sign?
Oh, me too. Yeah, I'll add on to that for sure. That's part of the reason why before this series had started, I'm like, you know what? It's great. I'm not going to be somebody who says, oh, it's great to get here. If we lose, it's going to be all right. No, we got to get this one. There's no guarantee we'll be back here next year. I think the East is going to be a bit stronger than it was this past year. And that was, what also helped the Knicks. Now, the Knicks are a great team. They had a favorable path, but you know what? You still got to get the job done. And that's what they've done to get to this point.
If you win game 2 on Friday, we can have a discussion about this series, about whether they're going to win.
Yeah, Nick, I agree. If you're up 2-0, you go back to MSG. I mean, the feeling that I'm having right now, I mean, gets elevated to the next step. I'm not gonna sit here tonight and do cartwheels, because I do know that I expect the Spurs to bounce back, because Wembanyama and that team does not look off on consecutive games.
And I don't even think, to be honest, I don't think the Spurs had a bad game either. Like, I just think they just couldn't finish it.
Yeah, you're right. No, I mean, they had a double-digit lead a couple of times tonight. There were multiple big runs by both teams tonight.
I mean, I'm looking through the rest of the numbers just to look at the stat lines. Let's see. Karl Anthony Towns had 18 points and 12 rebounds. Okay, that's been a standard game for the playoffs for him. He's looked great, no doubt. This is the most aggressive I've seen Karl Anthony Towns be the entire playoffs, or like the last couple rounds. Because during the regular season, he was shooting long-range shots, wasn't looking to get in the paint. He looks like a completely different player out there now. And
you wonder if that has to do with Mike Brown. I mean, we're now a year to the day that the Knicks got rid of their head coach and brought in got rid of Thibodeau, and we all thought at the time that was like a mistake. And now that Mike Brown's coming in, it's look where we are.
And a lot of people gave me a hard time because I'm a Net fan, whatever. I'm not letting that cloud my judgment. I'm a Net fan. Big deal. I don't care. It's when I look at this series and I say, look, I think the Spurs overall are the better team. You want to talk about momentum? Then you could say, yes, the Knicks are a good team. But I don't know. I still need a little more than one game for it to show me that they could dominate this series.
I don't think this is going to be if this is a short series, then I think the Spurs would win it, but that's why I felt like the series was going to go at least 6.
Yeah, and look, I see all these people saying continued dominance. They haven't lost since April 23rd. First of all, how many games? They've played 8 games in, what was this? I heard at the beginning of the broadcast, 8 games in like 24 days.
4 in the last 23.
Okay, so can we pump the brakes on not having a loss since April 23rd? They haven't played many games.
Well, I mean, that speaks to. By the way, one of the comments actually does say the Knicks played terrible and won.
Yeah, they did. Well, both teams were horrible from 3-point range.
Yeah,
horrible. Let me see.
I think though it could be why. You feel pretty confident. You can be confident about them because even on a night where they did not have their best night, they still came out victorious, which may mean something if they end up winning this whole thing. We'll look back at something like this and say, you know what, they won all different kinds of games, which I think championship teams do. Is they win all kinds of games, whether it's in the regular season or the playoffs.
No, and I get that. And then I see comments like this where they say they earn those days off. Like, what does that mean going into the finals? You earn the days off?
Yeah, well, because you know how the NBA will not move up the finals, no matter if both teams swept.
That's on the NBA. That's not on the Knicks or the Spurs or anybody else.
Well, I think though, to that point, they earned those days off because they dominated the Cavs for 90% of that series, even though they swept them. What I mean by that is because you have to be fair. The first 3 plus quarters in Game 1, they were not great.
Okay, genius. I know they put every team away in 4. I know that's what you mean, but that's an NBA problem. That's not the Knicks, the Spurs, or any team in the playoffs. One thing I wish they would change is that they don't have a day off until after Game 2. To be honest,
you want them to go back to back,
and then put a day off into travel. That's how it should be. Now I know why they do it because of the Stanley Cup, and they don't want to disrupt each series. But I don't like waiting every other day for a game. It takes too long.
Yeah, I'd love to go back out there to.
The injury to Brunson was scary, but at least he was able to come back. Yeah, I thought the first one was bad, and then when he fell on his leg and hit his knee, I had no idea what was going to happen.
Yeah, I was sweating bullets over here. That's for sure. That was.
Now, what do you make of these people who were saying before the series that, and you've been a Knicks fan for a long time.
Yeah, my whole life.
Yeah. The whole Jalen Brunson all time if they win a title.
I think. Look, he's got to be. Here's the thing. He will go down as the best free agent signing that the Knicks have ever made if they win a title. Now, you want to talk about like putting him on like Mount Rushmore or something like that? Is that like what we're going to look at?
Well, some people are saying if they win this year, he's the greatest Knick of all time.
He's not. No,
thank you. Thank you.
You can't put him above guys like Reed and Clyde and DeBusschere. I mean that or even Ewing. I mean the thing is Brunson. One of the things that Brunson needs is the longevity, and I say this with players when we're talking about them with the Hall of Fame. Longevity's got to be something. You can't be a 4-year guy. Now you can say that he was the best free agent signing because what the organization has done in the 4 years that he's been there has been incredible. We've gone from being one of the worst teams in sports for 15 years to, being relevant, being in this situation where we've been in the conference finals for multiple years. Now we're in the NBA finals for the first time in 27 years. We're 3 wins away from winning the damn thing for the first time since 73. You can put him, on a list, but you can't put him as of right now as the best Knick of all time or even on the Mount Rushmore because he's only done it for 4 years. Now, if he's there for 8, and they're in the playoffs all the time, then maybe we can have a conversation. But it's only been 4 years. But you can say, though, that he's the best free agent signing of all time. That you can say.
Yeah, and then I would say that Melo was the greatest trade, and then I would say Brunson is probably the greatest player free agent signing.
Yeah.
But even if they win a title this year, he is not the greatest Knick of all time. Like
he's not.
We gotta slow down. Like And like I see comment in here, this person says I'm 50 and Ewing was great but not clutch. I didn't watch the others.
Ewing was great. And you know this. The one thing that Ewing didn't have is he didn't have a second big time player on his team.
He had to carry a team on his back on his own.
That's what made the 99 run absolutely remarkable as an 8th seed. And remember, he got hurt that year. But that was the biggest thing the Knicks were never able to do, was for him to get a second star. Trust me, 90. They probably should have won 94. 99 was a magical run, and every other year they were in the playoffs, they just didn't have that second player for him. You know, you look at with Brunson here. Brunson's been great, and he's now he's having other players step up in roles like a Josh Hart, like an OG Anunoby, like a obviously Karl Anthony Towns, Mikal Bridges, who, you know, for people we're talking about, they didn't like at times they were like, oh, this trade's a bust. Look at all the first round picks. He's been great in the playoffs. I mean, think about it. If the Knicks end up winning the title, and again, I don't want to put the cart before the horse here, but if they do win the title, that trade will go down as a great trade, because he will have contributed big time in the playoffs to them winning a title. So,
I mean, I still blame my Nets for making that trade, but that's neither here nor there.
I'll tell you though, I mean, there were a lot of Knicks fans that for a while there were not happy about it with the production that they were getting. But the Knicks had built up at the same time, they had built up all that capital that they could have made that move.
I always knew he was a good player. The Nets were just not a good fit for where he needed to be. But I did not like the fact that they traded him to the rival. That got me annoyed big time. And you could give me 10 second-round picks, I wouldn't have cared.
Because I don't understand how I say this, and I don't want to get off topic here tonight, but I don't think of the Nets as a rival. I think, I know they're a divisional guy, but I always think of come at it from a Knicks side of thing. I think of the Celtics, I think of the Miami Heat, I think of even the Pacers, even though they're not in the same division.
We're talking about like Yankees Mets is what I'm talking about.
I think that's a fair way of putting it, though.
Where you don't want to trade someone that's right within your bubble, then you have to play them so many times a year.
You don't mind like the minor kind of deals, like the Yankees and Mets have made trades before, but never
nothing like that
for star players. Yeah,
but let's see.
Let's see.
I like Brunson, but he's not Patrick Ewing. Agreed. He's not Patrick
Christy,
Ewing.
I agree with you. Absolutely, he's not.
Let's see. What were we going to say?
No, I agree with her 100%. I love Brunson, but he's not Patrick Ewing, and to put him on that level or even above Ewing, even if they win a title here, I think is a little much.
And I would say Ewing is one of those guys. He never won a title, right? So I think he's one of the greatest players to not win a title, in my opinion. He's up there on that list. Yeah. Let's see. Ben said it's like saying Jason Tatum is the best Celtic of all time, and then he said no, it's Ewing.
Yeah.
For the Knicks.
I agree. I mean, and his Celtics. I mean, God, he's got even a bigger list than what the Knicks does. I love Ewing, but this is different. Because they've got a deeper team now than Ewing's team in 94 and 99. And remember, 99 he was not there in the finals because he got hurt.
But the thing is, they were always an underdog to lose in 99. They
had no. You want to talk about a team that had no chance in 99. Now, I know some people have said that, they have no chance here. That team, that was a magical run. And, 2 magical moments to get to the finals in 99. The Ewing, the Allen Houston jumper against the Heat.
Yes.
The Larry Johnson 4-point play, which, this has been the happiest I've been as a Knicks fan since that moment.
Let's see. Every superstar player that the media talked about getting, I was against. In my head, the title wouldn't mean anything if the Knicks traded for a superstar. I believed in Brunson and Cat. Wait, what are you saying? If they traded for another star? Is that what you're saying? Because I don't know do you know what this means?
Okay. I think you're talking about like if the Knicks got like a Giannis or somebody like that.
So maybe in the sense of if you had to trade Cat to get Giannis, is that kind of what he's saying?
I think so, because there have been a lot of talks about Giannis maybe coming here.
First of all, they don't need Giannis. You guys don't need him.
I think the thing with Giannis is the thing with Giannis would be, you forget just draft picks. You'd be having to trade some of your valuable players, like maybe a Hart or an Anunoby to get Giannis, and then you start breaking away from the role players that you got, and look, those guys have been very, very valuable in this run.
Now, if Cat was still doing what he was doing halfway through the season, where he was just all about scoring and not about facilitating and building the team, and he was still doing that, I would have said maybe you do need to look at it because he's not filling the value that he was brought here to do to make this team better. But believe it or not, I actually think Cat is a better player than Giannis right now, currently. It doesn't help that Giannis is hurt. Now, if I'm the Knicks, and I hope they don't do this in the offseason if they win, they're not going to touch it at all. But I hope that they don't desperately, if they lose this series, go and try to make a trade for Giannis.
No,
that's what I'm hoping.
You almost wonder, and I think Get Up on ESPN had brought this up. What about Giannis going to like OKC?
They're not gonna trade the pieces away.
That's what I'm thinking. And that's why I now more than ever I believe Giannis is going back to Milwaukee. But
I mean, since Ben is in here, the Celtics is the team that's been talked about already. The Heat have been talked about already. But I don't know. The Heat have nothing to trade, really.
Yeah.
And the Celtics, they have their stars and then everybody else. Like, I don't know who they would be trading. Unless they're trading draft picks, if that's what.
I don't know what their draft capital situation is versus other teams.
You know this is bad when Skip Bayless is tweeting, "Finals lights are just too bright for these Knicks tonight." I don't know what that means.
What time did he put that out?
An hour ago?
Well, they were trailing about this time an hour ago, so that might be something you might see on Old Takes Exposed.
I still wouldn't have put that out, even if they were trailing. NBA Finals are such a weird situation where, like, someone could have a 10-point lead and then it disappears. That happened like 3 times on each side.
Yeah, this was a game of runs tonight, and the Spurs had a big run in the first quarter. The Knicks had a big run in the middle part of this game, and then there were 2 runs in the second half that ultimately switched this game. I mean, remember the Spurs were up by 8 I believe they were up by 8 in the third or fourth quarter. So just goes to show you that's this game's wide range of emotions. That's why I feel great. I'm relieved that we got this, and I'm hoping we can get game 2. But I expect a bounce back by the Spurs on Friday night.
I just find it interesting. I mean, I hope we get more games like this. Wemby's got to play better from the standpoint of down in the paint. Because once they played the second half, Cat got in foul trouble at the beginning of the third quarter.
Yeah. He had 4 fouls in the fourth, and I was surprised they didn't try and go at him a little bit more.
I don't know. I just found that interesting. Well, Josh Hart, that one, because I said in our chat, oh, look, foul trouble to start the beginning of the game, where Josh Hart had 2 fouls early, and then he picked up an early third, I think in the beginning of the second quarter. And I said, oh, God, they're going to get in foul trouble. But it didn't happen, and then they challenged, which one was it? The Cat foul call. Or, the Wemby foul call, which they overturned.
Yeah.
Into an offensive foul. By the way, I don't love the fact that they put Scott Foster back again in the NBA Finals.
Hey, and both teams were not happy with him tonight.
I saw Foster and Tony Brothers both in the same officiating lineup. I was like, oh no, why? Why are we doing this? I don't know. So I guess we can look forward to game 2. What do we think about for game 2 on Friday?
I think the Spurs are going to bounce back because just when you look at the Spurs now, when you look at the Spurs all postseason, and I go back again to the Thunder series because when it looked like Wembanyama was exhausted in game 5, he bounced back with a big game the next night, and he helped the Spurs get back, to force the deciding game, and then they won the deciding game. So just from what we've seen, and now I know the counter could be, well, look what the Knicks have done 12 in a row. Again, this is different though because you're doing this on the road. So I expect the Spurs will bounce back and win Friday night. But boy, I tell you, if the Knicks somehow pull off game 2, and look, you got to give them a chance to win. I'm not going to say they don't have a chance, but if they somehow pull this off game 2 and go back to the Garden up 2-0, I mean, oh my gosh, I just am like, I don't even know how to describe how I would feel.
It's like I said, if you somehow win game 2, we can discuss winning this series if you go up 2-0. Because what is the statistic? Mostly when you go up 2-0, the series, it's really hard to come back.
Well, they showed after the team that had won game 1 of the NBA Finals won the series 70% of the time. They're 55-24.
Yeah, so even when you win game 1, you're more statistically inclined to win the series.
Well, because right now, really, the Knicks. I mean, if you think about it, the Knicks do have like home court right now, pretty much, because now they got a game, and that's really all I think you could ask for was to get a game in San Antonio. But
because I said the other night, or actually on Tuesday in the afternoon, that if they didn't at least split, I didn't see a path for them to win the finals.
I agree. I think at minimum they needed to split the first 2 games, and the fact you get the first one is like, okay, let's now. And look, this team has been resilient. They've come back. This was a different kind of win tonight, and that's why you can feel very, very comfortable and confident going into a game 2 on Friday.
And I know, like, some other people are saying, "Oh, look at the line of the game." To me, the line means nothing. The betting line means nothing.
Oh, the betting line?
Yeah.
The Spurs were always going to be the favorite. And I'll bet you right now, if you look at the early line for game 2, I'll bet you the Spurs are also still favored.
I'll take a look quickly.
It might be a little smaller, or I wouldn't be surprised if it's a little bit larger. I believe it was 4. I think the Spurs were 4.
It was 4.5.
That was for game 1. That was for tonight.
Yeah, I'm looking for see. Oh, we do have a line for Friday already.
I'm sure a very early one. Let's see, what is it?
I'm actually a little surprised. Spurs are -5.5 going into game 2.
I guess they think that the Spurs will bounce back. I'm actually not surprised.
I mean, I didn't think the line was going to go up. I thought the line was pretty fair for game 1, 4.5. Like I thought it was going to always be somewhere between 3.5 and like 5. I thought that's where the line was going to land.
I would probably been more comfortable attacking the total like for this game. I probably would have taken the under, and I think the under probably hit because we ended up with 200 points.
Which surprised me a little. Like it was very low scoring going into the half.
Yeah, a lot of outside shooting, a lot of missed shots. Now you want to say that's rust or the pressure of the finals or a combination of both. I mean, there were quite a few shots from the Knicks side of things quite a few shots on the Knicks side that went in and out in this one.
What I will say is, and the Spurs need to work on this, regardless of how this series ends up, with having a big target like Wemby and being able to, you're going to get double team and triple team. You got to hit those shots when those passes come out from the paint. They got to nail more of them. They were missing a ton of open shots, which I think was the difference in this game too. That you had guys like Castle and Devin Vassell and guys that were missing open threes. Now, both sides didn't shoot well from 3. They combined, they shot 22. Let's see if I can do my math really quick. For 22 for 79.
Yeah,
that's brutal.
That's about 30%, I believe.
So the Spurs shot 26% from 3, and the Knicks shot 31%.
Also, so probably even less than that. I'm trying to just take a look at my calculator and see if I can do this real quick. 22, 79. Yeah, that's just about 28%.
And another stat that stood out to me too: the Spurs won the offensive rebound battle and lost the game.
That's a good point. Yeah, that is a fair point, and they did have some second chance shots in this one.
And that's what was interesting because Wemby was doing a good job battling on the offensive boards, but they just couldn't. Even when they got second possessions, they were missing layups.
And you had noticed that with the Knicks tonight too. Well, a lot of the shots they were doing were on the other side of where Wembanyama was, including those outside 3-pointers, and I think that's what they felt like they had to do. But they did take it down low quite a few times, and they took it down low when Wembanyama was not under the basket. So that you do give credit to them on that.
Yes, and like I said, the Knicks played efficient basketball when it mattered down the stretch, and the Spurs kind of I don't know. I guess they forgot to finish the game. And you know what? The biggest thing is going to be, and also we saw Wemby go off court with a limp also, which I'm sure the Spurs, just like the Knicks, were a little hold the breath a little bit.
Oh, yeah, because, I mean, they're just showing the replay of what happened with Brunson. I tell you, I mean, I remember how I felt like in real time when that happened.
Oh my God! They're showing Stephen A. at the game. Oh God, make it stop.
Yeah, well, yeah. Look, I will not have get up. I mean, I will not have. I'll get up on in the morning, but not first take as I prep for MTGP coming on. I guess we can say here on the East Coast a little bit later on today.
Actually, speaking of that, sports moves fast, and we're here to keep you ahead of the chains. Join Nick DiMartino and this guy over here, Johnny Montalbano, for moving the goalposts every Thursday, tomorrow, or actually today on the East Coast.
Here on the East Coast, yeah.
11:30 a.m. Eastern, 8:30 a.m. Pacific. We cover all the full spectrum of the Big Four, from the gridiron and the diamond to the court and the ice, whether we analyze the NFL playoff bracket, the NBA Finals, discussing a major coaching shakeup in the NHL, or recapping a legendary finish on the golf course. We bring you unique perspectives and a touch of humor. Don't just watch the games, understand the moves that change them. Only on the Empty the Bench Network, which is right here. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/ETB Network, tomorrow, which actually will be a noon Eastern time.
Yeah, this week it'll be a noon start, about 12 hours from now. So if you want to have your notifications set and be prepared for that. Big show coming up, episode 116 coming up later on today or tomorrow, depending on where you are.
I know, I can't keep track.
Well, it is, yeah. I mean, it is now Thursday morning here on the East Coast. Yeah, I'm not going to get a lot of rest here these next couple of weeks between this work and my gigs. But, I mean, this is a moment I haven't had a chance to have in 27 years. And I was telling Nick this before we started, before we get out of here. You know, I'm a Knicks fan before I'm for any of my other teams, and that's the Yankees, the Giants, and the Rangers. And I would trade all the titles that I've seen for this one, because this, I mean, I want this one really bad.
Oh no, I've seen the years of you being a Knicks fan. How frustrating it can be.
I mean, think about it, and I don't want to like bring this up tonight while we're 3 wins away from a championship, but I've gone through the 17-win seasons, the years of James Dolan, Isaiah Thomas, to, you know, Jeremy Linsanity, which was great but lasted only a few games. Now we got Lansanity, and everything else, the poor draft picks, the terrible signings, the trades, the controversy at Madison Square Garden. And now, you know, since Leon Rose has taken over and James Dolan's taken a step back and not really, you know, been involved a lot with the Knicks over the last couple of years, that's part of what's gotten this done. And, you know, we give Tom Thibodeau credit for, you know, setting us up, and now Mike Brown has taken it to the next step here. So we'll see. I mean, I'm hopeful for game 2, but I'll be honest, I do think the Spurs rebound Friday night, win game 2, but I think the Knicks did their job here in the first 2 games. You just want to get out healthy and get back to the Garden. Look, be great 2-0. I'd be happy 1-1 either way, getting back to MSG and seeing where we go from there.
So when's the next one you're available so we can tell
So
people?
I will not be around Friday night. Now, I will say this. If the game goes 2 overtimes and you want to do the recap at like 12:30 or so, I could be back by then. But I got a gig Friday night, and one of the band members I'm friends with, actually her birthday was last week, and I'm surprising her with something. I don't know if she's watching it now. It's 11:45. But that would be my second surprise that I'm doing this week. But, yeah, so I won't be around for game 2, but I'll be back Monday night for
game 3.
First game at MS, the first finals game at Madison Square Garden in 27 years.
It's kind of crazy, right?
I cannot see. That's the game I'm really looking forward to the most. And now that the Knicks got a game here in San Antonio, that place MSG is going to be, oh my gosh! I mean,
it's gonna be a mad.
I don't know if we will hear Mike Breen, Richard Jefferson, and Tim Legler. It'll be that loud.
No. And by the way, I'm happy for Mike Breen as the normal Knicks play-by-play guy on MSG. he looked like he had the energy tonight. That's for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I will say this. I mean, Mike's a great national guy. And I say this, when he was, doing games every day with the Knicks, look, again, through that hellacious stretch that we've had, he would criticize the Knicks to no extent. So he was not a homer, I'll tell you that. That's why I grew up with him. Heck, I grew up with him when he was doing updates on WFAN back in the early to mid 90s. So I've grown up with him. It was really special listening to him tonight. And I think Jefferson and Tim Legler actually also did a pretty good job tonight. This is a little bit different for them. We don't have a different crew for ESPN and ABC.
I wish they would just stop changing the broadcast and leave it alone because they keep changing it.
Look at what ESPN did with Monday Night Football, and look how many times it took for them to get a crew that can not only have a solid but consistent and can stay together for several years.
Well, it took them overpaying slightly, but they're
going to get their money's worth this year when they have Super Bowl 61.
Oh, that's going to be incredible. And by the way, I think Breen, in my opinion, is one of the best play-by-play guys out there across all sports. I would say him. People are going to get mad when I say this, but I think Joe Buck is actually a decent play-by-play guy. I don't know why people, all the bias stuff, throw that out the window. He's not rooting for your team to lose.
He's a fan. I don't have a problem with him.
Yeah. Like Kevin Harlan is up there. Iron Eagle's up there. Those are the guys like I want to hear. What was it? I saw a story the other day that Kevin Harlan and Mike Breen, like he said he would step away for a game or something to.
Yes.
Which I thought that was kind of cool, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think, and then you have on the hockey side, what do you have? McDonough, who I don't really think is the best hockey announcer, in my opinion.
Kenny Albert to me is the best. And he's one of my favorite guys, period, because of his versatility. I don't think there's anybody more versatile than him.
I think they said like he broke a record this past season, like for most games called across all sports or something.
Well, think about it. He had the Olympics, and I know we're getting off topic here, but the Olympics, he obviously the Stanley Cup Finals, baseball now, we do baseball on Fox, and obviously NFL on Fox in the fall.
Yeah.
Did some international games with the NFL this year, and obviously then going to Italy for the Winter Olympics. So
did fill in for Knicks games, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Too. Which people forget.
And I think he might have actually even done a college basketball game or two on Fox when he had a Giant or a Jet game that weekend too.
My point was more that Mike Breen is one of the better guys. Like
I'm happy for him. I know. Look, he's been right up there with us with what we've had to deal with for the longest time. So game 2 is Friday night, same time. I like the fact that they're not changing the times like crazy. All the games are 8:30 p.m. Eastern for the rest of the series. In my opinion, I still think it's a little late. Knowing you, I know you think the same way slightly that they're a little late. It's better than 9, so I'll take it.
Oh, that's right. The NBA Finals games should start at 9.
Yes, and this one tipped off at 8:44, by the way. But it was better. And the pace of the game was pretty good tonight, so it's fun. And again, 27 years I've been waiting for this. I will sacrifice. I will sacrifice the lack of sleep. I'll try and sleep in a little bit tonight, and then I'll see you all back here tomorrow for episode 116 of MTGP.
Just quick quote: Wemby took the post-game stand, and there's a video here, but he said, "quote I'm not worried in the slightest." So,
well said, yep.
I think what makes him great is that he's overly confident. I think he's an overly confident player. I didn't like the fact that he didn't talk to the media after that game. I think that was bad. But I'm not worried. I think you're going to see a whole turnaround from the Spurs in game 2 because they know they can't go down 0-2 going to MSG. Yeah. So
I do agree. I think the only thing you would think about here with the Spurs is the coaching with this because Mike Brown's been there before, and this guy Mitch Johnson, this is kind of new for him, but did win Coach of the Year this year. So I mean,
I got to give him credit. The Spurs got there ahead of schedule, in my opinion. They're saying that it was on schedule. I don't agree with that.
No, I think they were ahead of schedule, to be honest with you, because I think if you get a second player in there on that team, I mean, my God, the sky's the limit with them.
I think I saw the average roster age is 25 years old for the Spurs. That's got to be a record for one of the youngest rosters in the finals.
They have 3 first-round picks, I believe, in the starting lineup, if I read that correctly.
Right, so that's Castle, that's Wemby, and who's the other one?
Is it Harper? No. Dylan? Is it Dylan?
I think it was Harper. I think it was Harper, Wemby, and Castle.
Yeah.
I think. Which, by the way, Harper had a good game tonight too.
Yeah. First loss, by the way, Spurs first loss this postseason when leading at halftime. They were 9-0 when leading at the half going into tonight.
Wow.
That's why you got to play the games. We'll see what happens Friday night.
Yeah, but that'll do it for the stream. Subscribe, youtube.com/ETB Network. Like and subscribe so you can find us and everything we're doing. To see this guy in less than 12 hours from now. Yes. Okay, so Zan confirmed it. Harper is the correct third name.
Awesome.
But make sure you look out for Johnny and Nick D tomorrow, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific tomorrow. I'm sure he's going to be ecstatic talking about the Knicks.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to get over that. Yeah, we'll do obviously the NBA Finals and a lot of football tomorrow and an update on the baseball lockout, which unfortunately looks like
not going good. Not going good.
And not to nobody's surprise either. But we'll bring that up. We'll bring that up tomorrow.
Yeah, I have your topics list quick. So Knicks, Spurs, Giants make moves.
What a crazy start to June in the NFL.
Myles Garrett, AJ Brown, which happening in the same day is kind of wild. What else? And then the MLB negotiation. There's a lot to talk about tomorrow.
Yeah, and we'll get through it all. So stay tuned. 12 p.m. Eastern on the on YouTube, on our YouTube channel right there.
Yeah, on YouTube, across X platforms. But by the way, thank you to the 230 plus people who are watching tonight. These streams have done well. The last one I did for Game 7 had 1,500 views, so I'm curious to see what this is going to be on the YouTube side. The watch hours have been insane since we've done all these lives. So I'll see you back for Monday.
Yeah, I'll be back here for Game 3 on Monday.
The way this schedule worked out actually was lucky based on your schedule.
It is, Nick. You're right. And I was looking around with both of my things, and actually this really does work out because even I believe it's Game 5 is Saturday.
Yes.
And I'm supposed to do something Saturday night, but I'm supposed to be done by about 9 or 10 o'clock. So I'll have the game on while I'm out, but I'll be back in time to do Saturday night. So
it's not going to be. I mean, we saw tonight. It didn't end until close to 11:30.
Yeah.
So I'm sure we'll be fine. But yeah, having the games on Wednesdays and Fridays really worked out.
Absolutely, very favorable schedule. I was actually supposed to go out and do something Monday night, and I canceled it so I could watch the game. So yes.
I mean,
listen,
you're a Knicks fan.
27 years, guys. I'm sorry. I have to be around for that.
Come on, man. Knicks fan. You gotta be there for, I mean, you could have gone to a bar too, but like.
Well, that's true, but some of the places around here, I think I'd be lucky to get to halftime.
Oh, that's fair. That's a good point.
And there was something cool about watching it in the comfort of my own place here tonight. That was pretty nice.
Oh yeah, because you're in your own place, getting to watch a game.
Absolutely. So,
but that'll do it. Like I said, youtube.com/ETB Network. Find everything we're doing. There's our handles if you want to see them really quick. But that's it. Any last words on Game 1 before we go?
What a night. Great when Knicks win. Let's see. Let's keep it going though. You know, we still have a ways to go. It's a great start. This was a great win. It was nerve-wracking at times, but it should be because it's the NBA Finals. But I feel great and relieved, and I can go to bed knowing that. And hopefully we can get Game 2 because I'm worried the Spurs do bounce back Friday night.
We'll you're guaranteed a split at the very least.
And that's really all you could ask for. If you told me the Knicks were going to split and you even told me they were going to win Game 1, I would tell you, where do I sign?
And like I said, and the last thing I'll say is if they go up 2-0, I will definitely say that they are probably going to win the series at that point. So if they go up 2-0, we will we could start having those discussions, because I wouldn't even count the Spurs out fully down 2-0.
You're right. I wouldn't either. So that's why I'm trying not to really jump for joy. I mean, I'm happy. Don't get me wrong. Trust me, I'm very, very happy. But
you should be happy, Knicks fan, for a long time. You should be happy.
Yeah.
I won game 1.
Absolutely. So
all right, we'll see you tomorrow for moving the goalpost. When am I going to be on again? I don't know. I can't keep track anymore. I feel like I'm on some. I was on press row for 3 hours earlier on Wednesday. I can't keep track anymore. All right, that'll do it. Have a good day, everybody. Knicks win game 1, 105-95. Game 2 on Friday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. See everybody next time. Bye.
Good night, everybody.